The entire shtick of Attack on Titan is Titans eating humans, humans turning into Titans to eat humans, humans eating the spinal fluids of Titans with royal lineage, a son eating his father, and you kinda get the drill. Watching characters get consumed is the least of our worries, but one particular Titan does manage to bring out this fear that we had seemingly got over in Season 1. This Titan is the Jaw Titan. For powers that are so reliant on eating beings from the napes, or eating to become the beings in the napes, the Jaw Titan, with its ultra-powerful jaws that can tear and crush anything in the world of Attack on Titan, becomes a very powerful ally and a very dangerous foe. Considering this very advantage, it is essential for a person with an average intellect to acquire this Titan, because if it had fallen into the hands of someone like Annie or Erwin Smith, the Jaw Titan would have been impossible to stop. The Titan can only enjoy this privilege as a result of its unique anatomy, which is what we'll be discussing in today's video. How many Jaw Titans are there in the series? How do they differ? For most Titans, we see them being wielded by one or two characters, with Aaron's titular Attack Titan having 3 wielders across the story. However, the Jaw Titan is special in the sense that we have seen 4 characters shift into this particular Titan. The first Jaw Titan, based on the timeline and not watch sequence, is Marcel Galliard. The second is Soldier Ymir. The third is Marcel's younger brother, Porco Galliard. And finally, the last wielder of the Titan is Falco Grease. Every single character has one thing in common apart from their Titan, and that is the fact that they're all refugee Eldians from Marley. The Jaw Titan has never fallen into the hands of an Eldian from Paradise Island. Marcel Galliard and Porco Galliard were extremely well trained as they were part of Marley's warrior program and prime candidates for becoming Titan shifters. Marcel was assigned to infiltrate Paradise Island alongside Reiner, Annie, and Berthold. Top of his class and the strongest soldier, he was not only the Jaw Titan, but also the leader of his Operation Squad. Unfortunately, he was consumed by a pure Titan while on the way to initiate the Paradise Island operation. His Jaw Titan had a face armored with Titan Hardening. He had a set of hardened and pointed teeth to live up to his name as the Jaw Titan. It was complemented by his long hardened claws. His Titan was passed down to a girl named Ymir, who had been turned into a pure Titan by Marley under allegations of her being part of the Eldian Restorationists. Transformed, she was sent away to wander outside the walls of Paradise Island, and she spent 60 miserable years in her state of mindlessness. One fine day, she got lucky, and she spotted the warriors from the Paradise Island operation and managed to eat Marcel Galliard. This gave Ymir the powers of a Titan shifter and helped her shift back into her human form. The size of her Titan was smaller than Marcel's. Her teeth and claws were also smaller, although they still did the trick. But, most importantly, she did not have a hardened face like Marcel. She was also the only Jaw Titan and one of the very few Titans who were capable of speech. Ymir spent her days in Paradise Island and, after Season 2, decided to go back home with Reiner and Berthold, hoping to return the Titan back to them. Following Ymir's return, the Jaw Titan was passed down from her to Marcel's younger brother, Porco Galliard. Porco's Jaw Titan looked more similar to Marcel's with its hardened head and claws. He used to be part of the warrior training program and had acquired the Jaw Titan from Soldier Ymir. His Titan also had 2 sets of teeth, as his sharper teeth were concealed by a hardened layer on his face that fit together like a jigsaw puzzle. And finally, we have Falco Grease, who acquired his Jaw Titan from Porco while being turned into a pure Titan by Zeke's spinal fluid. This created a very unique hybrid of the Jaw and the Beast Titan, which possessed a combination of hardened skin, visible Titan facial muscles, fur akin to the Beast Titan, a beak-like structure made of Titan hardening, and an ability to fly. While all Jaw Titans were suited for acrobatic styles of fighting, those with Titan hardening were stronger than Ymir, as she had never undergone Titan training or experimentation. We'll dive more into these individual topics the deeper we get into this video, so stay tuned. Why is the Jaw Titan so small compared to other Titans? How does this affect its strength? Although a Titan, the Jaw Titan isn't nearly as big as its shifter peers. In fact, there are many pure Titans who are much larger than the 5-meter Jaw Titan. However, the jaw is its strongest without the extra meters on its legs because its main focus during combat is on agility. The Jaw Titan's movements are basically like that of a monkey's, which, as a feat, is more convenient to pull off with a smaller body. This compact design is not just short when it comes to statistics, but also when it comes to proportions, which makes the Jaw Titan look petite. To understand this better, we should use some real-life human examples. Let us assume that person A is short, but they don't look very short. Meanwhile, person B is of the same height, but they look a lot more petite in comparison to person A. This is very much possible because perceived height and the difference between being simply short or shorter and petite are based on proportions. Generally, having a bigger head with narrower shoulders, shorter arms, and a longer torso and shorter legs can create a petite appearance. If another person of the same height has a smaller head with a shorter torso and longer limbs, especially longer legs, their vertical length or perceived height will not appear to be petite. This is why celebrities like Shakira, who are around 5'2" or 157 centimeters tall, don't actually look that short unless we see them beside taller people. On the other hand, a hyper-exaggerated and cartoonish representation of the petite appearance would be a bobblehead figure. The Jaw Titan is the bobblehead of the Titans with its much bigger head, which is similar to the size of the heads possessed by the 15-meter tall Titans. However, the rest of its body is a lot smaller and more compact. This makes the Jaw Titan unsuitable for the styles of combat used by the likes of the Attack Titan and the Female Titan. These two Titans are possibly the most capable when it comes to hand-to-hand close-quarters combat, and their Titan anatomy supports this. However, the Armored Titan and the Beast Titan, despite having different specializations, can also fight a 1v1, especially the Armored Titan. We're counting the Beast Titan in this list only because he's fought the Armored Titan several times off screen. Naturally, the Jaw Titan does not have the same amount of brute strength as the other Titans, but even then, the level of strength may differ from shifter to shifter. Each Titan shifter has particular abilities that it's meant to excel at. Reiner's Armored Titan takes a lot of L's across all battles, but his Titan specializes in defense, not attack. It's not his job to win at 1v1 fights against combat-centric Titans. His job is to defend his teammates from the attacks of their opponents. Similarly, the Beast Titan's job is to engage in long-range combat, where he can pitch hardened material like it's a baseball and take out his enemies all at once. Meanwhile, you can't expect a close-quarters combat-centric Titan like the Attack Titan to take hits or pitch as well as the Armored and the Beast Titans do respectively. In one of our previous videos about the anatomy of the Female Titan, we theorized the advantages Annie's 14-meter Female Titan had over Erin's 15-meter Attack Titan. Being slightly shorter can often be an advantage because it accounts for lower centers of gravity, thus helping the shifter to be more stable in battle. The reason why the Colossal Titan is far from being the fittest in the show is because its colossal size creates a very high center of gravity. The situation is turned on its head for the Jaw Titan, which is not just 5 meters, but most of its Titan body is arguably its head. This makes its Titan body even smaller than anticipated, since the proportions aren't humanoid like they are for some of the other Titans. Naturally, this helps the Jaw Titan pounce on its targets one after the other, jumping from nape to nape and taking them all out if they're fighting pure Titans, such as in the case of Ymir in Season 2. Considered to be the fastest Titan shifter, they have a speed advantage over others. The smaller size also makes it harder for soldiers to target and slice its nape, which becomes fairly easy once the Titan is bigger, since the size of the target itself gets a lot bigger. This, combined with its speed, makes the Jaw Titan better at evading attacks. On the contrary, the Colossal Titan often looks like it can topple and fall over at any time. Its movements are painfully slow, but it makes up for its speed, or lack thereof, with its steam emission and explosive abilities. On the other hand, the Female Titan and the Attack Titan are more of a match for the Jaw Titan in the sense that they are both Titan shifters with a good amount of stamina alongside close quarters combat abilities. We do have a good understanding of the Female Titan's running speed, but the Jaw Titan is faster by a significant margin, not only because of its more compact frame, but because of the fact that the Jaw Titan operates on 4 limbs instead of walking on 2 legs. Using 4 limbs for running is a huge advantage, which is why animals have it. They don't lead lives where they can make do with the use of only 2 legs, especially if it's an animal living in the wild. They need the higher speeds, which can only be acquired with all 4 limbs. On top of that, we see that Porco's Jaw Titan has hardened claws on his forelimbs as well as the hind limbs, which allows him to run across buildings and latch onto walls in a watered-down Spider-Man fashion. Overall, the Jaw Titan is easily the fastest Titan when it comes to individual speed, and it's possibly the most agile Titan of all. Why is the Jaw Titan considered to be the perfect assault weapon? Let's start off by talking about the Jaw Titan's mobility. In Season 2, Eren and Ymir get kidnapped by Reiner and Berthold, and Eren is not in the position to shift into the Attack Titan for the longest time. Ymir, despite being from Marley, is deeply in love with Historia and wants to protect her over anything else. So while all 4 of them are in the Titan forests, Ymir takes the opportunity to transform and attack the others, especially Berthold, to get them to do her bidding for the sake of protecting Historia. We see her going against the armored and the colossal Titan while being a half-baked Jaw Titan, which might sound crazy on paper, but it's not in practice because the location of the Titan forests puts the Titan shifters in a habitat where Ymir had the edge as the Jaw Titan. There were huge trees all around, and she could maneuver around them like a monkey, which the others, especially the colossal, would not be able to do. Instead, their movements would be stifled in such an environment. Compare the Jaw Titan to an orangutan. Orangutans are much better at climbing trees than bigger-sized gorillas. So, if the 2 apes ever had to fight in a habitat surrounded by trees that are calling to be used as their aid, the orangutan would give a gorilla a run for its money. Once again, it's similar to Spider-Man, who would swing across the New York City skyline with his webbing. This has been crucial in influencing the 3D maneuver gears of the Survey Corps, who also get a habitat advantage when they go against Titans while in the Titan forests. However, the average Jaw Titan in such an environment will still have an advantage over the Survey Corps because of the simple reason that it can regenerate its body parts and heal itself over and over. Beyond this scene, we never really see a Jaw Titan in such a physical space that caters so heavily to the jaw alone. However, we do see Porco's Titan take full advantage of the abundance of buildings around him during the attack in Liberio arc. During the battle against the Mideast Alliance, the Jaw Titan is also responsible for taking out the railway tracks with the anti-Titan artillery, which becomes one of the factors that aids Marley in its victory. Often, there is a tendency to assess strength based on raw explosive power or brute force, but there's much more to a fight than how hard an individual can punch. There's the fact that the Jaw Titan is the only Titan that can catch most of the other Titans off guard. We can also compare it with the other Titans. For example, the Colossal Titan is overtly stronger than the Jaw Titan, but imagine if Berthold did fight Ymir in the Titan forests. The Jaw Titan is the type to find it easier to take out a shifter from its Titan from the nape. The steam emission may be more bearable with the Titan regeneration. If a shifter can harden the nape, the Jaw Titan can break it, since this is the one Titan who finds it the easiest to break off Titan hardening, be it with its jaws or be it with its claws. Considering hardening is the greatest defense of almost every Titan, and the Jaw Titan is the only one who can afford to not sweat about it, it's understandable why such a Titan would be perceived as a terrific assault weapon. On the flip side, if the fight took place on open land, the Jaw would not have much space and hurdles to make use of in the first place. If the Colossal Titan hasn't transformed yet, it can take out the Jaw by transforming alone. Overall, it is best to scale each Titan shifter equally because most of them cannot be compared. The original intention behind their existence is for them to work together. What one shifter can't do, the other shifter will cover, and so on and so forth. Obviously, things changed during the Great Titan War, where Titans begin to fight each other, but we don't have any intel on how the fights turned out back then. However, a Jaw Titan is more than its jaws alone, even though its jaw is its most obvious striking. How powerful are the Jaw Titan's jaws and claws? Can they crack AOT's strongest substance? The strongest substance in the world of Attack on Titan is Titan hardening, more specifically the crystallized shells that Annie Leonhardt and Lara Tiber can create to protect themselves. When Annie had concealed herself in such a structure, the Survey Corps were incapable of even denting it, no matter how much they tried. Ultimately, the crystal had to be restrained and kept in an underground chamber. We see such a situation once again in Liberio, where Eren finds Lara Tiber's main body in a similar shell. He tries to break it with his mouth, but to no avail. Thunder spears fail to do any damage at all, nothing is working out, and the worst part is, Lara Tiber can still control the Warhammer Titan remotely while being in the crystallized hardened shell. But Eren's situation is worsened by the fact that he is also being assaulted by the Jaw Titan. At some point, Eren had to defend himself from Porco's Titan slashing at him with his hardened claws. With the crystal in his palms, he instinctively pulled it up to block Porco's claws, and it helped him realize that the Jaw's claws were able to scratch Lara Tiber's shell. In the end, Eren was able to dislocate the Jaw's head from its body without killing Porco. He then placed the crystal between Porco's jaws, using it as a nutcracker against Porco's will. Eren finally cracked the shell to consume the blood and spinal fluid of the Warhammer Titan, thus gaining its powers. This proved the extent to which the Jaw Titan possessed crushing and biting strength. It could also chew through Eren's hardened Titan armor. Ymir's Jaw Titan, although not as developed, has decent jaws and claws. If the Survey Corps knew about this, they could have tried to use Ymir to unleash Annie from her shell. However, Ymir probably wouldn't have done that since he was an Eldian from Marley and would not want the people from Paradise to get closer to the truth of the world. Is the Jaw Titan more powerful than Aaron's Attack Titan? What is its major flaw? The Jaw Titan packs a more powerful bite and scratch than the Attack Titan. Wits and timing play a part in battle, considering how Porco had almost gotten Aaron by the nape of his Titan after he disconnected the Warhammer. However, it was Porco's awful luck that Levi and Mikasa were there to intercept him, with Levi landing the final blow on the jaw itself, making Porco incapable of doing much to counter. Porco tries to run away using the walls for grips, or finds another opening as he runs atop the houses on his four legs, but his attempts to take Aaron out are mostly squandered by Mikasa. This is not to say that Aaron cannot do these things himself, but he clearly has his hands full. Ultimately, Mikasa takes out two of the jaw's hind limbs, while Aaron gets a hold of the partially amputated body and tears off Porco's Titan arm. This leaves Aaron with just the head of the Jaw Titan. This is a huge turn of events, as the Jaw Titan was seemingly overpowering Aaron at first. However, Aaron and Mikasa were just a lot cooler amidst battle, whereas Porco seemed to have lost his peace of mind when he noticed a bunch of island devils charging at a Titan without fear. The problem with the jaw seems to be that despite its assault and the agility it acquires from its smaller frame, there's not much it can do to counter its opponent once it's been caught, and this is where the jaw's more compact figure becomes a problem. Was Ymir's Jaw Titan weaker than the others? Before acquiring a Titan, a subject of Ymir and Marley undergoes heavy training. Depending on their caliber, potential, aptitude, and abilities, they get the appropriate Titan shifter assigned to them. If someone from the training program isn't good enough, they have to kiss their warrior dreams of becoming an honorary Marleyan goodbye. Marley, like Eldia during its days of glory, practices Titan science. A simple technique would be the injection or consumption of the spinal fluids of other Titan shifters to enhance a different Titan shift. For example, the spinal fluids of the armored Titan, or rather the armor serum, is what is used to give other Titans their abilities to harden. However, these combined attributes might not stick with their Titans, and instead, the next inheritor will have to acquire the same serums to have a Titan similar to its predecessor. Marcel was trained by the Marleyan military. Porco was trained by the Marleyan military. Falco was trained by the Marleyan military. Ymir was not. She was just an unfortunate girl who was turned into a pure Titan, and after 60 years of misery, she finally found some good luck as the one person she happened to consume turned out to be a Titan shifter. As someone who didn't have the armor serum or any other type of special spinal fluid injected into her, the Titan Ymir acquired was not only smaller, but also didn't have the hardening that protects the face. Her jaw had its claws and teeth, but Porco's Titan is very evidently superior in this department, considering his claws can withstand gunfire. On top of that, her Titan had poorer musculature compared to the other jaw Titans because, firstly, she got her Titan before she underwent any training. Secondly, the training she underwent was focused on her becoming a soldier. She never underwent the necessary warrior training. So, although we don't have any evidence behind her jaw Titan being weaker, it wouldn't be far-fetched to guess that Porco's jaw Titan would have performed better against the pure Titans at Utgard Castle. You could also argue that Falco was not confirmed to be a Titan shifter, and he wanted to be the armored Titan, as he wanted Gabby to live a long life, so his Titan should not have had hardening. However, we don't know if the kids in the program are already experimented on before they inherit the Titans. The easiest explanation for the entire situation would be that as Ymir was not trained to be a Titan shifter, the mangaka Isayama watered down her design to depict the fact that her power is more ragtag and less polished. Can all Jaw Titans fly? Why is Falco Grease's Jaw Titan so unique? The final Jaw Titan in the show is Falco Grease, who is part of Marley's military program. He wasn't the greatest or the most promising candidate, unlike Gabby, the girl he had feelings for. Gabby was more or less destined to acquire the armored Titan after Reiner, but becoming a Titan shifter would mean that she wouldn't live beyond the next 13 years. Falco didn't want that, and would always try to surpass her to become a more capable and more appropriate candidate for the Titan. At some point, the both of them infiltrated the Zeppelin from Paradise, where Gabby killed Sasha. They were then jailed, and Gabby managed to break free, after which the duo ironically found shelter on Sasha's family farm. On the other hand, Zeke was cooperating with Paradise on paper and was more focused on his personal plans. For this, he had mixed his spinal fluid into the wine that had been consumed across the military in Paradise. Niccolo, the chief from Marley who was in love with Sasha, also had a bottle of wine with Zeke's spinal fluid. Due to Zeke's royal blood, anyone who would consume the wine would turn into a pure Titan if Zeke screamed. Gabby and Falco ended up at Niccolo's restaurant with Sasha's family, as they had been invited due to Niccolo having been in love with Sasha and wanting to feed people. Knowing he was Marleyan, Gabby and Marley went to meet him in private, where Gabby joyfully explained how she had killed Sasha. This angered Niccolo, and he almost hit Gabby in the head with a bottle of wine near him. However, Falco intercepted the attack to protect her, and in the process, some of the wine with Zeke's spinal fluid went inside him. Cut to the War for Paradise arc, and we see Reiner and Porco fight Eren. Meanwhile, Zeke has sent out his scream to turn people into Titans. Unfortunately for Falco, he was away from range, so he only felt a jolt of lightning instead of turning into a Titan. Later, he and his brother Colt find Zeke, and Colt begs him not to scream for the sake of Falco. But Zeke pays no heed and screams anyway, turning Falco into a pure Titan. In this new form, Falco is ordered by Zeke to kill Reiner, and so he tries to do that while Reiner fights Eren. However, he soon spots a heavily wounded Porco Galliard and consumes him instead, thus gaining the power of the Jaw Titan. He transforms into his Jaw Titan for the very first time when he witnesses Reiner and Annie fight the Jaegerists at the harbor while having help from the Survey Corps. At this time, we see his Titan with its hardened face and a beak resembling a falcon. As a first-time shifter, he loses control and is brought out of his nape. From this point onwards, we're going to talk about manga spoilers to bring this to a conclusion, so proceed at your own risk. Falco goes on to talk to Annie about singular Titans being able to possess several abilities, as Falco himself confesses to acquiring the memories of a Beast Titan who can fly. The reason why Falco had the memories of a Beast Titan was because although he was the Jaw Titan, he had been transformed using Zeke's spinal fluid, and Zeke was the Beast Titan. This is why his Jaw Titan was furry. We have seen in the Season 2 opening that there have been several Beast Titans who have represented different animals. In the case of Falco, he would acquire the memories of himself flying. In fact, his introduction in the first episode of Season 4 is of him and his vision of flight, hence the bird reference in his name. After theorizing his ability to fly because of his visions, Falco manages to acquire this ability and spread his wings, which becomes a big advantage as transportation becomes a huge issue during this part of the story. So, with Mikasa, Jean, Levi, Connie, and Reiner fighting a dangerous battle with several Titans across Titan history, Falco is able to get there quickly to assist them with Gabby and Annie because he can fly. Later, the Alliance detonates Eren's nape for Armin to engage him in battle, but turning into the Colossal Titan causes intense collateral damage, so it is with Falco's ability that the others are taken to their safety before Armin's transformation. In terms of appearance, not only does Falco look avian, but he kind of resembles Zeke. It is possible that Zeke's spinal fluid has only been used to create pure Titan, so no one knows how things would turn out if said pure Titan became a Titan shifter. This is why Falco is such a unique case, even among Titan shifters. Marvelous verdict! The greatest thing about the Jaw Titan is that we get to see so many characters wield it. As a result, it's much easier to get an overview of how the same Titan can manifest differently across different characters based on their different life circumstances. But what are your thoughts on this? Do you think the Jaw Titan is the most interesting shifter, or do you have a different favorite? Let us know in the comments section down below, and thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and have a marvelous day.